Well, here it is Wednesday already, halfway through another week and the beginning of another month. What's up with you today, Bob?
I ran into an old acquaintance today, John, and it really brought back memories. I ran into a lady named Betty Bittner. Now, back in the 60s when I first came here, the same people owned most of the TV station and the Shreveport Journal, and I was working for KSLA. And so I told them one day I would like to work at the newspaper, and they said, okay, we'll get you a job there. And they looked around and tried me out at a couple of places, and I ended up in the women's department under Betty Bittner in the Shreveport Journal back in the 1960s. And what I was there for was to write travel and an entertainment column. And I really had a blast. They finally changed the name of the women's department, or whatever they called it, to Lifestyle. But Betty was great to work with, and I saw her today after I haven't seen her in years. And it made me think of my good old buddy Marge Fisher, who passed away some time ago. Marge was probably the greatest writer that I've ever known, and that includes national and local. And she also helped me a lot. She would correct all my columns. I'd write my column on, in those days I could write them on, I think, on some kind of a typewriter, electric typewriter, whatever it was. And maybe it was a form of a computer. And she would correct it, and everybody thought I really wrote great, but it was really Marge that took care of it. And when I went out of town, I took something, I think it was made by Tandy, and I would be out of town like in Galveston, and I would hook it up to the telephone with a cup that went over the mouthpiece, and I would send back a story, and she would get it back at a special machine in Shreveport at the Journal. She would look at it, correct it, and put it in the paper, and everybody thought, again, I was a great writer, but it was really Marge Fisher who did it. And it brought back really pleasant memories when I saw Betty today. There were a bunch of other people that worked down there that were great people, but I really remember Betty, and I really remember Marge Fisher. And, I guess, John, that's one of the great things about getting old. You can look back and remember some very, very pleasant periods in your life and people. And I've really been lucky that way. And that's what's up today.
All righty. You sure brought back some memories for me, because I know both of them, too. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.